Hello, my friends. Welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, I want to cover some more of the Idaho 4 story. If you've been following this channel, we have been doing a lot of reporting on the Idaho 4. Bryan Kohberger has since been arrested and charged with this as the number one suspect. Are there any accomplices? We don't know. Is there anyone else involved? We don't know. But I tell you who wants some answers, and that's what today's topic is about. Ethan Chapin's sister-in-law has shared some stuff on Reddit before the charging documents have even come out. She is upset. She wants answers. She wants to know why Dylan Mortensen called everyone under the sun. I'm using those words, but I'm shortening it down. She wants to know, why did Dylan call so many people but never called 911? That is the topic we all continue to struggle with and want to understand. There's a reason. Only Dylan knows that particular reason. But let's go ahead and find out what we have learned about this. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. The family of one of the victims, Ethan Chapin, in the University of Idaho killing, is seeking answers to a long-awaited question that many of us have. Why did the surviving victim not call the police after hearing the other victims scream? Ethan Chapin's sister-in-law, she made several posts on Reddit after it was revealed in the arrest warrant how surviving roommate Dylan Mortensen had come face to face with a masked man with bushy eyebrows on the night of the murders. She is wondering, why did it take so long? Ethan's sister-in-law, she revealed that Dylan called all of the roommates after she heard screaming and crying coming from their rooms. And so she was posting in a thread on Reddit, and she said D supposedly called all the girls in the house after the crying and screaming stopped and no one answered. And she still didn't call the police. That's what the sister-in-law is sharing. She also said she needs to explain herself and her actions that night. You see, Dylan, along with Bethany, they are two of the surviving victims after the November 13th, 2022 slaying, right? So Chapin, his girlfriend, Xana Kernodle, is pictured right here together, along with Maddie Mogen, Kaylee Goncalves. They were all killed as they were sleeping in their campus house on November 13th, 2022. It has since come out that Xana fought this guy. The suspect is said to be Bryan Kohberger. Xana, she is said to have literally fought this guy even to the point where he almost severed a finger off of her. However, it was revealed that the surviving roommate, Dylan Mortensen, did not call the cops for over 6 hours after she heard the victims cry for help, including the time she allegedly came face to face with the suspect. Dylan told the police she was awoken around 4 a.m. after what sounded like Kaylee playing with her dog in a third-floor bedroom. She looked outside her room but didn't see anything. And so here is one of the messages from Ethan's sister-in-law on Reddit. It says, "Yes, I hope it will come out what Dee heard. Dee supposedly called all the girls in the house after the crying and screaming stopped and no one answered. And she still didn't call the police. She needs to explain herself and her actions that night. I definitely want to know what actually happened here. Because you see, the second time that Dylan looks outside of her room after hearing Xana's cry, Dylan claimed after hearing one of her roommates say, "There's someone here." She opened the door for the third time, and that is when she saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask only showing his bushy eyebrows walking towards her. She also heard the suspect say, "It's okay, I'm here to help you." We do not understand why she did not call, but these are some facts that we have known about seeing a figure clad in black clothing. But here's the truth. We don't know if the suspect saw her. We don't know that. That is still one of the unanswered questions that we all have, right? So the last thing that we are trying to figure out is, why did you not call? It is even said by a witness that they saw the front door wide open almost 4 or 5 hours after the incident, but yet there was no phone calls to 911. So we don't really know why Dylan never made that phone call. She calls out to her roommates who no one answers. She picks up the phone and calls friends over. Again, not 911. Dylan says that she was in a frozen shock phase after the encounter. Dylan was spared along with her roommate Bethany Funke by the alleged suspect Bryan Kohberger, who was later arrested after the killing on December 30th. But Ethan's sister-in-law, she revealed in an online post that the 911 caller was the friend who went in because Dylan called him to come over because she was scared from what she heard in the night. She shared that the friend went to Xana and Ethan's room first, then called 911, questioning why D or B didn't call the police once is the question. The friends came over. One of the friends, which is said to be a male, was the one that called 911. Police also confirmed that the 911 call was made from the phone of one of the surviving roommates at 11:58 a.m., requesting help for an unconscious person. Although it was not revealed who spoke to the police, suspect Bryan Kohberger, he is in Latah County Jail awaiting a preliminary hearing that's coming up in June. Now, sources claim that he is expected to plead not guilty to this quadruple murder incident. If convicted, the PhD student in criminology, he is said to be facing the death penalty. Now, internet users all along are questioning a lot, because you can see again where Ethan's sister-in-law says 911 caller was the friend who went in because D called him to come over because she was scared from what she had heard in the night. He went to Xana and Ethan's room first and then called 911. Why Dylan or Bethany didn't call the police once is the question. What we do know is that up on the third floor, Maddie and Kaylee, they were the first two that the suspect went after. They were the first two. And then, so again, Dylan says she heard what she believed was Kaylee playing with her dog, Murphy. We now know that does not look to be the case at all, right? And so, truth is, we're only going to find out. What I don't understand is Ethan's sister-in-law also shared Xana and Ethan were in her room. In Dylan's room? Is that what that means? Let me know in the comments if you understand this. I take it as in Dylan's bedroom, because we do know that Dylan's room was in the second floor, but she was down in the basement. So my guess is she was in that second floor when she heard all of this going on. And then out of fear, she went to the first floor. How does she ever go back to sleep? I don't think she does. But how do you not call 911? That is the question that a lot of us are literally still asking. Because even if she was asleep when she started hearing noises, then I don't understand why she wouldn't call. Now, of course, internet users like myself, they're puzzled about why Dylan did not call the cops. One user wrote on Reddit that if this happened to your family, wouldn't they be questioning absolutely everything? And I don't think there's a problem with saying, why didn't she call sooner? I think it becomes a problem when people insinuate that she didn't call sooner because she is guilty or involved. Another Reddit user posted, so if this is true and she heard crying and screaming, and then on top of that, seen a masked man leaving the house, what reason is there that makes sense for not calling? I, for one, do not understand. You can see here, this was part of the affidavit. DM Dylan Mortensen stated she looked out of her bedroom but did not see anything when she heard the comment about someone being in the house. Dylan Mortensen stated she opened her door a second time when she heard what she thought was crying coming from Kernodle's room. Dylan then said she heard a male voice say something to the effect of, "It's okay, I'm going to help you." But again, why? I think everyone has every right to question, how did she not find it in herself to do this? Literally, how is this even possible that she does not call 911 at the first thought of being able to get some closure, right? Oh my gosh, something happened to my roommates. Let me call right away. And so you have a lot of questions being raised of why she didn't contact authorities sooner, with some arguing that she may have just been frozen by fear. For 8 hours? I don't know about that. And so it is confirmed that a 911 call was made by the phone of one of the surviving roommates. Must have been Dylan, could have been Bethany, but not by any of them themselves, right? And so I find this very troubling myself, to be honest with you. I do want to know, why did you contact authorities, or why did you not contact authorities? And why did the roommate wait over 6 hours despite hearing several of them in distress as well as witnessing the killer? Now, Mortensen told cops that she was awoken at around 4 a.m. by what sounded like her playing with a dog. So help me understand, you did have proof that it wasn't her just playing with a dog. And so this is beyond understanding, and we won't ever probably know. You can see Stacey Chapin, who is the mom of Ethan Chapin. She urged those affected by the tragedy to instead look ahead as the recently arrested suspect makes his way through the court system. And so she just wants answers. Ethan's mother, she's also urged those affected to just look ahead, right? And so now she has nothing. She says that nothing has changed since his arrest and that mourners should direct their anger elsewhere. And this comes after sources told News Nation that Xana fought back against her attacker and repeatedly grabbed the knife, even to the point where a finger was almost severed. And sources claim that her fingers were nearly severed from the student trying to fight back, with her father, Jeffrey Kernodle, giving the same information November of 2022 when he told CBS 5 that autopsy reports showed that his daughter's skin showed bruises torn by the knife. The FBI, they have been forced to deny losing the suspected quadruple killer just moments after he left his apartment in Pullman, Washington, with his father, Michael, in order to return home to Pennsylvania. And, being that they are from Pennsylvania, it leaves me to wonder, Pennsylvania, you look at this image right here with Dylan and Xana. Those are Pittsburgh Steelers jerseys. Is Ethan or Xana from Pennsylvania at all? I find this interesting to have a tie to Pennsylvania. Are they tied to Pennsylvania? I've not read anything where they have any ties to Pennsylvania. Are they just Pittsburgh Steelers fans just by coincidence? Or do they have some ties to Pennsylvania? Because that's where the suspect Bryan Kohberger is from, Pennsylvania. Now again, I'm just playing detective on my own here, right? Because we don't really know more. But we do know that Dylan stated that she opened the door for the third time after she heard the crying and saw a figure clad in black clothing and a mask that covered the person's mouth and nose walking towards her. That's when she describes him. And she even talks about his bushy eyebrows. And according to the police, that she said that she was in a frozen shock phase. Why? She only heard sounds and didn't think anything of it other than playing with a dog. She heard that everything's going to be okay. Like, when was the red flag for her? And so, Now, it has since come out that court documents revealed that police discovered a pillow covered in blood in Kohberger's Washington apartment when the search warrant on his apartment was revealed. And so, again, he's expected to plead not guilty. We don't know once he gets everything out, this may be the damaging evidence that they need. Because this search warrant that was made public on January 17th, it shows that police found several hair strands, including one suspected animal hair, a black glove, a computer tower, and one unnamed item with a collection of dark red spots. They also hauled away a pillow with a reddish brown stain on it and the top and bottom of a mattress cover with multiple stains. And so, something is going to continue to tie him, or should I say multiple somethings are going to continue to tie them to this whole thing. Because truth is, something is leading, not just DNA, something else is leading them to believe that Bryan is definitely the person behind this. Because to them, they said, without a shadow of a doubt, we have our guy. And so court documents show that 8 strands of hair were recovered from the apartment, as well as a possible animal hair. Now, they also recovered a Fire TV stick during their search. All the items are now being stored at the Washington State University Police Department as they get closer to trial. And so they want to see if this hair that has been transferred onto Kohberger and then back to his apartment, including that of Kaylee Goncalves' dog Murphy. They're going to see if this dog, if it's dog hair, human hair, what kind of hair. Now, Murphy, he was found alive in Kaylee's room by investigators who were called to the scene and has now been returned to her ex-boyfriend. And so, little by little, my friends, more is going to continue to come out. But the question still remains, why didn't Dylan call 911? Let me be very clear. I don't think that she's guilty of anything except fear. I don't think she has anything to do with this except fear. You've ever been in that moment where you don't do something right away? You might look back later and say, oh my gosh, I can't believe I didn't take a different approach, different action, right? But here's the truth, my friends. Unless we are in her shoes, we do not know. But my gosh, it doesn't make sense. I don't care how you spin it. It doesn't make sense. And unfortunately, for the rest of her life, she will be haunted with this. Whether it's her own emotions playing with her or people just never letting her live this down. Why didn't you call 911 before you called your friends? There's got to be a reason. There's got to be a reason. You heard commotion. You saw a perp. You saw a suspect. There's got to be a reason you did not call 911. Is it because you were shock frozen? I would buy that if finally your first phone call was 911. Or maybe even your second phone call. Maybe I would buy that. But you had a lot of time to think this through. So again, I don't think she deserves this to hang over her head for the rest of her life, because I truly don't believe it would have helped save any of the lives. But why did she call friends over before calling 911 over? There's a reason behind it. Until we know her reason, we're going to be left with, why did this happen and why didn't she say anything? Because Bryan Kohberger, he studied this stuff. He studied it. He was in the field, becoming an educated person around this stuff. This guy is playing calm, cool, and collective. Like, you got the wrong guy. Personally, I'll leave that up to the police. The police have been wrong, but in this particular case, I feel like they're on to the right guy. But again, I'll leave that for the police. My friends, my whole purpose of doing this content, it's not about me. It's about the victims, being a voice for the victims. Does that sound like something that you like to follow? Make sure you hit that subscribe button. That way you get notified whenever I go live or I share any content. Because at the end of the day, I just want to be a voice for the victims, and I want to keep you aware of what could go wrong in this crazy world we live in. Thank you for joining me on another episode of Deep True Crime. Until next time, my friends, have a great day. Peace.